What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and this video, I want to give you guys my channel update for 2024 going into 2025. Kind of a yearly thing, just sitting down, hanging out, going over, what happened this year and going forward. And, well, firstly, I want to thank all of you so much. Every year is a journey. Every year is something a little bit different. No 2 years, I think, have ever really been the same for me in my life or for me on these channels. So I really appreciate, whether you're channel members or whether you're just subscribers, viewers, you leave likes, dislikes, even comments. No, I really appreciate it. It's been a slow kind of climb in terms of subscribers, but I always feel really passionate, about these videos, about these channels, and I'm on this long journey, like it or hate it, depending on who you are. But I'm here to stay for a very long time, and I've already been here for a long time. So no, thank you for everything that you've given me this past year, for years, if you've been around, for years. And also, I think this video goes up on Christmas Day. So Merry Christmas. Honestly, hope you guys have an awesome day, whether you celebrate it or not. Hopefully, you can take your mind off of things if you don't want to celebrate it. Hopefully, you can find a couple minutes in your day to watch the video if you do celebrate it. But no, it's all good. So, well, let's talk about the year. Honestly, and this is maybe something that I think has gotten a little bit more consistent and a little bit, how I mentioned, like, no 2 years have ever been the same. I do think this year was, like, relatively smooth. Last year, 2023, was a lot about, I would say, YouTube, I think, really suffered, like, a critical blow in, like, ads, so, like, revenue and stuff. And that was something that I think a lot of people, including myself, had to deal with. And just kind of like, there were new things that happened in my life that kind of, like, changed what I do with these videos and stuff. But I really think in the last, these past 12 months, I really think I've settled in really well. We got some good games. I know people, I know depending on who you are, you might think, oh, this year was terrible or this year was not so terrible. I think it was just the consistency of, me picking these certain franchises and me doubling, tripling down, making videos. I think to something like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth as kind of one of the highlights of the year, of covering that game a lot going into it, or even a game like Silent Hill 2, covering a lot going into it. And then, a thing like Final Fantasy, and this is going somewhere, by the way, I did a, story/ending explained, right, when that game came out. Now, I did that video like a month after the game came out, and it still did really well. And I like to do those, like, long-form projects. The issue is, obviously, over the last maybe 5 years or so, right, I've really settled in with, like, news and theories and speculation. I want to strike, hopefully, a better balance going into next year on hitting a couple different things. Now, I do think the consistency was, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong and you didn't like it in the comments, and that's okay. But for me, I feel like a lot of almost the series type videos that I do, I really think just continue to work. And they're things I want to double down on. So things like the review score, going over review scores, right? Now, when I get a game early, I don't do the review score thing because I do the review myself, right? But that doesn't happen every time. In fact, it happens maybe 20, 30, 40% of the time. So when games get scores and then I do a video covering it, those videos always do really well. And I don't think there's many people online that actually do stuff like that, and I never took that idea from anybody else. That was something I just legitimately started doing on my own, so I'm kind of proud of that idea, like legitimate idea that I had. Obviously, the Why I'm Getting series, I really think has become kind of special. In fact, I've seen a lot of smaller channels doing the exact same thing, Why I'm Getting or Why I'm Buying, whatever, and I don't know if they got it from me. Again, that's another one that I came up with. I never saw anybody else do something like that. I think 4 years ago or something, when I think it was Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was the first game I did it for. So I don't know, there's a couple ideas that I've really settled into, that maybe started years ago, like the, review scores, going over review scores and stuff. But kind of mixing all of these different, because I'm kind of bouncing around, and that's kind of the point, of the channel, right? News, you got theories, you got leading into a game coming out, things like I did for Power Rangers recently, like 7 things you should know before you get it. Now, I always kind of struggle with those type of videos, not necessarily making them. They are longer, they take more work, but they actually reward you quite well because they are, I think, good videos and people do look for them. The issue is I just feel like it's oversaturated. Like everybody, when Indiana Jones came out, I wanted to do videos of like things you should know early in the game, right? There are things the game doesn't tell you. The issue is that's just become topics that like so many people have done. And I guess like news is something that so many people do, so maybe I should get over myself. But no, I don't know. I'm trying to find things that are something that is similar, like it's not going too outlandish or too crazy, but something that is kind of original almost to me, right? And at the same time, I do like doing, like I said, for Final Fantasy, like the ending explained. I think those videos are a lot of fun. I did like a Life is Strange story recap, Life is Strange 1, getting ready for Double Exposure, right? And that video did really well, and it does well, over time. And that video takes like 10, 12 hours, to do the entire video, but I think it's really rewarding, and it's just really fun to kind of tell the story of a game and doing it more for like informational purposes. Different kind of audience, right, that would watch those versus the other stuff that I do. So that's really, I know I'm bouncing around, but these are a lot of the things that I want to take and just kind of double down on in 2025. 2025 is going to be, I imagine, a slightly different type of year because there's going to be like more bigger games. Now, that's not an entire guarantee, but hopefully. And, again, this is where I think my bread and butter kind of comes in, where I isolate games that are both big. There's got to be like reach to them, but also I'm passionate on. I think you saw it with like Life is Strange. I made probably 50. I made more Double Exposure videos than anybody on YouTube. Now, I'm not saying that it's the best videos. I'm not saying, it's the best content or anything, but I made the most. And I think that's a mix of my passion for it, and also, it's a big enough franchise that I can do that for. And that's something, I've done, I would say, for an incredibly long time. Going back, Kingdom Hearts 3, probably before then, probably 2018, if not earlier, I was doing stuff like that, picking games that I'm interested in, and I can actually make 50 videos. It's not like I'm just milking it, and I don't even really look at it like that. I'm coming up with theories. I'm coming up with discussion ideas. We do live streams on these things. That's another thing in 2025. I want to do specific, like a GTA 6 type, hype live stream, right? Stuff like that. These are things I want to kind of double down on. So hopefully, there are a lot of big games. Hopefully I can cover them in the way that I've done Life is Strange, Silent Hill, Final Fantasy, even like Metaphor ReFantazio I covered an okay amount leading into it. I think we're going to get a lot of those games mixed with news, mixed with theories, mixed with, some of those longer videos. I know also I did a video on even Uncharted 3. It had like an anniversary, and well, obviously every year a game has an anniversary, and I just threw together a pretty quick video just kind of going over my history with it. Not really a retrospective, just kind of talking about it. People really liked it. It didn't do amazing in views, but people really liked it, and I thought, those are some of the things I want to sprinkle in a little bit more, especially like weekend videos on like dead weeks. I can do maybe ranking lists or things like that. These are all things I'm kind of experimenting with in my head, but I'm excited. I really am excited about the future. I think this past year has been like a stabilizing year. I do think in almost every category, if not every category, it was better than 2020. So 2023, again, like it was messy. I don't really look at any year as being like bad for me, but 2023, I think by like the metrics, like views, subscribers, revenue, and stuff, like I think they were all down. But this year bounced back. It didn't bounce back to like pre like 2022 levels and stuff, but it did bounce back. So I do think I'm on the right track. I always feel kind of confident. I think that's another thing that maybe people don't really care about, and that's okay. I actually kind of get that. But as I get older, as I've made so many of these videos, I think I've done a really good job of just kind of blocking out things that I don't. It's not that I don't want criticism or constructive criticism. In fact, it's just that, right? I want to improve. I want to kind of find my place and like really, really do the best I can in it. And I do think I do a good job at what I do. Okay. Is there room for improvement? 1,000%. In fact, 10,000%. Yes. But, when it comes to the internet and stuff, you can make a video where I just kind of like acknowledge both sides, and you're called like a fence sitter. People don't take you seriously. Those are things that, I remember them, but I don't care about them. I think that's just through experience and being online and kind of being chronically online, but also kind of not. Like, I have a family, I have a life, I have other things going on. I don't have time to cry myself to sleep, on like negative comments. So, those are things, honestly, I think I've gotten really, really good at. Okay, in terms of goals, right? Well, the video stuff, just think about a lot of what you've seen over the past couple of years. Obviously those things are going to continue. Again, maybe doubling down in certain areas where I haven't doubled down previously. I would like to do more story recaps, more ending explains. Those are definitely, I used to do more ending explains, and I definitely want to do more story recaps. I'm thinking, and I'll give you guys like a sneak peek at it, I want to try Kingdom Hearts. So I mean, it's a deep franchise. It's one that I care very much about, and I'm pretty knowledgeable in. So when I'm replaying these old Kingdom Hearts games, I'm gonna do retrospectives for them on Back to the Past. I want to also kind of do something for them here too. So I'm hoping that I can do like a story recap for like Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts 1, so on, and we'll see how those do. And then, like I said, I mean, goals. I would prefer 2025 does better than 2024. That's kind of what I'm looking for. So, I do have like in my head metrics that I want to reach each day, like how many views per day on the new videos I get. And I've raised that bar each year. So hopefully, we can keep moving that up. I really think it's insanely cool and insanely nice, that people say it. People want the channel to hit 100,000. I want the channel to hit 100,000. It just moves slow. The type of stuff I do moves slow. But who knows? With GTA 6 coming, with Scream 7 filming, Scream is kind of almost a whole separate thing that I do on this channel, but it's huge for me, right? Maybe it's possible. But my expectations are let's hit 90. Let's hit 90,000 in 2025, and then we can hit 100,000 in 2026. This is the 10-year anniversary of the channel in March. I think March 6th or 7th. I'll do a live stream. We'll celebrate, 10 years of podcast now. It would be nice in the 10th year to get 100,000, but I'm not, again, for me, it's not really, especially how my life has gone the last couple of years that we won't get into. It's more about just passion. I mean, this always has been passion. That's how I've survived so long. But, I do these videos for the joy of making them, for informational purposes for you guys, but also because I'm genuinely interested in this stuff, and I think that's what a lot of people that don't like me don't really understand. When you get called a shill, or when you get called a fence sitter, or when, just people are mad at you for whatever, it's like I'm doing this because I care. I'm doing this out of passion. I'm not doing it to get 500 games for free every year. I'm not doing it to make $100,000 a year. I can tell you right now, I don't make anywhere close. Like, I really don't make a lot of money at all from any of these channels. I would say it's like 70% passion, 30% revenue. Okay. So, I mean, and that's a little combative, I would guess, to like the people that don't like me, but also just to, I guess, like reason with you or level with you. Like that's why I'm here. I do it because I care. I do it because I freaking love video games, Scream, Pirates of the Caribbean. I do it because I love these things. And I like to talk a lot. I like to hear myself talk. I can't shut up. So I might as well put it I could say it to my wife and she would maybe hate me, but I could just put it in a microphone and you guys can either hate me or put up with me talking for some reason for so long. I don't know why people do it, but I think this is more productive than like speaking for like 6 hours on Dante's Inferno to my wife, who doesn't care literally at all, right? She's watching something. This is a better way of my focusing my time and my effort. So again, thank you all so much for 2024. I think 2025 is going to be a pretty big year with that consistency and just doubling down, and 10 years on the channel. Also 5 years on Podcast Now Plus. I forgot that I did it that way, whereas 5 years after, but it just turned out to be that way. So 5 years Podcast Now Plus. I'm going to celebrate that in January. 10 years Podcast Now. We'll celebrate that in March. Thank you for watching. As always, Merry Christmas. Leave comments. Tell me what you want me to improve on, change entirely. You let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next one.